Weather and Terrain were introduced in Gen 2 and Gen 6 respectively, and they are both field conditions with certain effects that can also affect the moves and abilities of certain Pokémon. Most Pokémon that function on Weather or Terrain teams only benefit from that one Weather or Terrain, and having another one of those field conditions overriding your desired one can really throw a wrench in your game plan. However, in this video, I'll be discussing Pokémon that function in multiple different Weather or Terrain, either on the same set or on alternate sets, like if the Pokémon needs to use a different move or ability to take advantage of a different field condition. I will be including both singles and doubles oriented entries, mostly from Gens 8 and 9, since Terrain and Weather had some important changes in these gens. With all that being said, let's look at Pokémon that benefit from multiple different Weather or Terrain. Starting off, we have Walking Wake benefiting from both Rain and Sun. Walking Wake is the ancient Paradox form of Suicune, but the issue with Walking Wake being an ancient Paradox Pokémon is that they all get the ability Photosynthesis. This ability boosts the user's highest stat when holding a booster energy held item or when exposed to harsh sunlight. As a water type though, having an ability that activates in the sun is not ideal since it weakens the damage from your water type moves. Luckily for Walking Wake, it was given a unique signature move, Hydro Steam, that not only doesn't have its damage weakened in the sun, but it actually gets boosted in the sun by 50%. It is still a water type move though, meaning that it also gets the 50% boost from rain. This allows Walking Wake to thrive in both rain and sun, since its main attacking move gets boosted in either condition. It can also set both of these weather conditions itself, since it gets Rain Dance and Sunny Day, but will usually want a teammate to set that weather for it. It definitely prefers sun because its ability activates in the sun that could give it a speed or special attack boost, and it gets Flamethrower that could be boosted in the sun, but the fact that it can also work in rain is really cool. While not super common, it also gets Hurricane, a move that becomes perfectly accurate in the rain, and Weather Ball, a move that changes type depending on the weather, so it could even benefit from snow or sand if you want extra coverage. Next, we have Iron Leaves benefiting from electric, psychic, and grassy terrain. Iron Leaves is the other event-distributed Paradox Pokémon along with Walking Wake. As a future Paradox Pokémon, Iron Leaves gets the ability Cork Drive, which does the same thing as Photosynthesis, but instead of activating in harsh sunlight, it activates in electric terrain. Iron Leaves was also given a signature move with a unique property, Psyblade. Psyblade increases in base power by 50% if the user is exposed to electric terrain. This pairs perfectly well with Cork Drive, since Iron Leaves will have its attack or speed boosted at the same time. As a Psychic type move, it also gets boosted in Psychic terrain, just not as much at 30% since the Tapu's got the terrain's nerf starting in Gen 8. As a Grass type Pokemon, Iron Leaves' Grass type moves will also be boosted by Grassy terrain. Iron Leaves can also set all of these terrains since it learns Grassy, Psychic, and Electric terrain, but like Walking Wake, it would generally prefer a teammate to set that terrain for it. So to recap all the ways in which Iron Leaves can take advantage of terrain, its ability activates with electric terrain, its signature move is boosted by both electric and psychic terrain, it gets Wild Charge which is boosted by electric terrain, and its grass moves like Leaf Blade or Solar Blade are boosted by grassy terrain. Iron Leaves could even benefit from the sun since Solar Blade is a 2-turn charge move that gets bypassed in the sun, and for this video I am mainly focusing on just weather or just terrain for an individual entry, but this is still a neat interaction worth mentioning. Next, we have Beartic benefiting from rain and hail/snow. In Gens 5 and 6, Beartic only got the abilities Snow Cloak and Swift Swim, but already these are two abilities that work in two different weather conditions. Snow Cloak increases the user's evasiveness by 20% in hail, and Swift Swim doubles the user's speed in rain. In most Smogon formats, Snow Cloak is banned because Smogon bans most effects that increase evasion, so Beartic really only had the one ability in singles. It could still use it in VGC, but it wasn't until Gen 7 where it started using more abilities than just Swift Swim. In Gen 7, Beartic now gets the ability Slush Rush in addition to Snow Cloak and Swift Swim, which is the hail equivalent to Swift Swim. It also got 20 more attack added in Gen 7, and with hail being changed to snow in Gen 9, Beartic can take advantage of two weather conditions. Rain gives it a boost to water type moves like Aqua Jet and Liquidation, and snow gives it a 50% defense boost since Beartic is an ice type. It really just depends on what mode Beartic wants to run, either using water moves that are good for priority and coverage against fire moves that resist ice, or relying on being more defensive thanks to the defense boost that Snow provides. Next, we have Heliolisk benefiting from Rain, Sun, and Sand. Heliolisk gets the abilities Dry Skin, Solar Power, and Sand Veil. Dry Skin gives the user a water immunity, heals 1/4 HP when hit with a water move, and heals 1/8 HP every turn in Rain, with the drawback of fire moves dealing 25% more damage, and losing 1/8 HP every turn in Sun. Solar Power boosts special attack by 50% at the cost of losing 1/8 HP every turn, and Sand Veil is the sand equivalent to Snow Cloak, boosting evasiveness in sand. Like Beartic's Snow Cloak, Sand Veil is banned in most Smogon formats, but it is still an option in VGC formats where it is not banned. Heliolisk mostly just uses Dry Skin, as it has an effect both inside weather and outside weather, unlike Solar Power and Sand Veil. In Rain, Heliolisk can take advantage of Thunder, which gets perfect accuracy in the rain, which is a great option as a special attacking electric type. It also gets Weather Ball, which is good in any weather, as it gets a base power increase and becomes a different type, which is great for coverage. Solar Power is more of a niche pick since it has no effect outside of rain, but it can be good for a few reasons. A 50% special attack boost is a lot, and Heliolisk can use Solar Beam, a 2-turn charge move that gets bypassed in Sun, to hit the ground types for super effective that are immune to electric. Next, we have Unburden Mons, the best probably being Sneasler and Hawlucha, benefiting from all terrains. Unburden is an ability that doubles the user's speed when their held item is consumed or lost. There are quite a few ways to intentionally lose your held item to activate Unburden, like using a white herb to reset negative stat changes, using a berry and getting your HP down with the help of Substitute, or using a focus sash to survive a hit that would have otherwise knocked out. However, all of these methods require at least a turn for them to activate, so if you're looking for a faster and more consistent way of consuming your held item, look no further than the Terrain Seeds. The Terrain Seeds raise defense or special defense by 1 stage when the user is exposed to a given terrain, physical defense for electric and grassy, and special defense for psychic and misty. Now you might be thinking that Hawlucha is a flying type, so it won't be affected by terrain for the seed to activate. Luckily, Terrain Seeds activate even if the user is not grounded, and they activate immediately, meaning that you could get doubled speed and a defense or special defense boost on a switch-in if terrain is already set, or if it's set at the same time that the Unburdened user was sent in, like from your ally in a double battle. With all these Terrain Seeds being usable, it really just depends on what kind of team you want to build around. In Scarlet and Violet, you have Rillaboom for Grassy, the Indeedee for Psychic, Miraidon for Electric, and Galarian Weezing for Misty. Misty is probably the worst since it offers no direct offensive properties, and Galarian Weezing is usually better off using Neutralizing Gas, but the other 3 terrain setters are very good options to build a team around. So those are all the mons I found that actually have genuine use cases in multiple different weather or terrain, but now I'd like to mention some cases that might be stretching things a bit since they aren't really that great of uses, but I did still want to mention them somewhere. First, we have Landorus Incarnate benefiting from both Rain and Sand. It benefits from Rain because its signature move has perfect accuracy in the rain, and it benefits from Sand because it gets the ability Sand Force, which boosts its rock, ground, and steel moves by 30%. The thing is, Landorus hardly ever uses Sand Force these days, since Sheer Force is better like 95% of the time, since it offers the same 30% boost, but to moves that have secondary effects, which is a lot less situational than Sand Force. There are a few fire types that get Hurricane, like Talonflame, Volcarona, and Moltres, allowing them to benefit from both Sun and Rain. Sun boosts their fire moves, and Rain gives Hurricane perfect accuracy, an otherwise 70% accurate move. This is really not that great though, since not only does Rain reduce the damage of fire moves, but it makes you take more damage from water moves, a type that they are all weak to. Hurricane is also not the best option on Talonflame and Volcarona, since Talonflame has higher physical attack, and Volcarona isn't a flying type so it doesn't get stab, but it is still decent on Moltres. Iron Crown benefits from both electric and psychic terrain, since its ability gets activated from electric terrain, and it gets stab expanding force that gets boosted from psychic terrain, but it's kind of just a worse terrain example than Iron Leaves, since it doesn't have a signature move with a unique terrain interaction. Alolan Raichu benefits from both electric and psychic terrain, since its ability Surge Surfer doubles its speed in electric terrain, and its psychic moves like Expanding Force get boosted in Psychic terrain, but it's used so infrequently in pretty much all formats I could find that I don't really know if this strategy has any practical use. Volcanion is the only Fire-Water type, allowing it to get its stab boosted by both Rain and Sun, but this isn't a super unique interaction since its ability doesn't have any interaction with weather, nor does its signature move. Excadrill has its speed doubled in Sand from Sand Rush, but is weak to both Fire and Water, meaning Rain will reduce its Fire weakness and Sun will reduce its Water weakness. Chlorophyll doubles speed in Sun, but most users are Grass type, therefore being weak to Fire, so Rain reduces their Fire weakness. Castform changes form depending on the weather, but its stats are so bad that it's not even worth using. And those are Pokemon that thrive in multiple terrain or weather conditions. Let me know if you disagree with any of my reasonings or feel that I missed any. Thanks for watching.